Recording in progress.
Hello. So it's been a while since I've done a video, which is funny because I think the last time I said I was going to do a video like twice a month and then a vlog once a month, and then of course I put it out there and it hasn't happened. However, I'm not going to beat myself up over that because I've been doing a lot of really deep inner self-work through psychotherapy and through an energy healing program that I signed up for, and this was my first month of doing it, and it just seems that making videos and writing blogs for now have not been what needed to be cultivated. There's a lot of inner cultivation going on right now. Anyways, I felt called to do a video today, and so I went ahead and pulled cards from my Soul's Journey Lesson Cards deck, which is this one. It's like one of my favorite decks ever. And then from my Mermaid deck, which is going to be this one. And I had set the intention that when I pulled the cards that it would be a message of the highest love and highest light for the collective that is in resonance with these readings. And these pulls are timeless, so whenever you watch the video, it applies to you at that point in time. It's pretty interesting. So I pulled the Soul's Journey cards first, and then I pulled from the Mermaids for clarifiers, and the Mermaid clarifiers went perfectly with the Soul's Journey cards. So the first card that I pulled for the Soul's Journey was Freedom, and then interestingly the clarifier for it was Contemplation, which with these two cards, in order to really step into your power and to be in a place of freedom, it does require contemplation to get there. Usually we kind of start to have a desire for freedom because things just aren't feeling right or they're weighing heavy on us, and it sometimes takes us contemplating and writing things out and sorting things out in our minds or in our journals to really get there and realize that we want to come from a place of freedom. And then with the Freedom card, it talks about how we are not victims of our circumstances and we can always change what's going on, which for me this was interesting because the other day I was at work and I had a really nasty encounter with somebody that I work with, and it was like arguing with their angry 5-year-old inner child, and there was no talking logic to them, and they really disrespected me and made my body not feel good. I was having stress pains in my lower back, and I had to emotion code myself to release it the following day. However, what I did realize through that encounter is it really taught me how I want to be my own boss one day, and I don't want to work for anybody else. And then it also mirrored to me, contemplation energy, it mirrored to me too, okay, if this person is going to hold me to extremely high standards and not hold anybody else to it, and then pick me apart for the smallest of things that were outside of my control, how is this being mirrored to me? What am I doing on the inside that's like that? And it's true, I've always had perfectionistic tendencies because I had a very perfectionistic mother, and she was a workaholic, and she would pick herself apart all the time. She didn't pick me apart, but she would pick herself apart all the time, and because of that I grew conditioned to pick myself apart all the time, and I would hold myself to extremely high standards. So in the situation with work, I realized that the person was mirroring back to me, if you're going to be your own boss, you can't be picking yourself apart and being perfectionistic like that, because that's not in alignment with the higher timeline that you're working to be on, if that makes sense. So to make it a little more tangible in different directions, let's go ahead and see what the book says too, for those that maybe didn't resonate what I said but might resonate with these cards. So it says, your soul is open to receiving new wisdom and insights that will allow it to make the right choices for its own growth. Remember, you are never a victim of other people or their circumstances. You have complete control over your own choices. You do. By following your heart and being authentic to yourself, you present the real you to the world. Making decisions based on other people's expectations is not the true path to happiness. It's not. It's just going to wear you down and bring you down. You are responsible for creating your own reality. When a soul shifts to a place of honoring itself in its totality, free from judgment, only then will it find its true freedom. Every soul is unique and follows its own path. Don't give in to peer pressure or the urge to fit in. You are the only one who truly knows the real you. So feel free to march to the beat of your own drummer. And sometimes it takes a while to even realize who the real you is, because maybe there's like years of conditioning and people pleasing, and it's a process to get back to marching to your own beat instead of marching to other people's beats. And that, again, is where that contemplation energy comes in, because you're going to have to kind of figure that out for yourself, and then you'll find that freedom that you're searching for. So then the next cards that I pulled, which are like the current energies that you've got going on, interestingly, it was patience and waiting, which, I mean, to me, they go hand in hand. And so the patience card says, I accept that everything happens in divine order. So with that, like, it reminds me of what one of my favorite readers talks about in her pick of cards. I believe her channel is Ancient Star Queen. Like, maybe you're working on manifesting something, or maybe like that freedom energy is there because you're already working on like freeing yourself from whatever it is, or rewriting your narratives, right? However, we've gotten so used to like instant gratification and stuff like that, that like we're having a hard time, because we're like, man, I've been working on this for like a year or months or whatever, and like, can it just be here already? And it's like she says, if you're going on a vacation, like, and you already like paid for everything, you don't want to arrive at your hotel too early or too late, because then you can't like be there, and you won't be like on that trip at the right time. And same thing with like our manifestations, like we don't want them to arrive too soon or too late, because then like they're gonna not arrive on time in divine order. And so in the meanwhile, like, we're in that weird waiting in between period, and it's important, this can go different directions, so it's important that when you're waiting, that yes, you do the work to envision, but you don't revolve your whole life around envisioning, because sometimes things require action. Like, let's say you want to get a new job, and so you're envisioning this new job and the money that you want to make and the people you want to work with. However, you're still working the same job every day, and you're not taking action except in your mind to envision. So the action required would be to keep an eye open for jobs, or to listen to people when they offer you like a job in passing, or to go on like Indeed or Craigslist or ZipRecruiter or whatever the websites are. And then that would be you doing your part in taking action. And then as you do that, the universe will align with you the job that you want. And sometimes stuff like that takes time too, because like, if you're familiar with like the energy of money, like the energy of money is like a whole energy in and of itself, and it's not a bad energy, it's not a good energy, it's just an energy, but it can very much so enrich your life. So you want this new job, and like you've done the envisioning, like, I want to make this much money a month, and I want to work with these kinds of people and with this kind of clientele. Like, you've done all that. So the energy of money is working behind the scenes to activate the exact thing that you would like to have as your job experience. Or it could be the other way, and maybe you've been taking so much action and doing so much envisioning that now is just the time to sit and be still and enjoy your day-to-day life, because you're going to miss all the progress that you're making at this point in time. Which, like, I mean, for me, like, if I like relate it to my own stuff, I've been doing so much deep internal self-work these last 2 years, like working on healing my mother wounds and father wounds and stuff like that, and doing ancestral work. And just recently I've started doing my own past life healing. And I've been doing all this because, like, I want to make sure I don't pass on a bunch of trauma to my child, and I want to break the cycles that I was born into with my family and their ancestral trauma. However, like, I sometimes get so caught up in, it's the perfectionism, I get so caught up in it that sometimes I don't stop and smell the roses, or like sometimes like I forget the here and now. Like, here I am wedding planning, and I'm about to start a new chapter with someone I love very much, and I'm too caught up in the future thinking about something that I'm working on manifesting also, instead of just being patient and waiting and enjoying the now moments and being present with what I am working on right now. Which, let's see what the patience card says for you. So it says, Earth has become a place of instant gratification. Yep. You must focus on the maxim. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. This card has come to you because you need to learn the joy of anticipation. Yeah, that's what I just said. The process of doing is so rich in lessons, but when you concentrate only on the goal, those experiences are disregarded. Life is an unfolding, and the more patience you practice, the more you will let the universal energy celebrate itself through you and bring the experiences and situations your soul requires. You need to learn that there is a rhythm to everything in the universe, and the more you are living with patience, the more aware you are of the lessons your soul is studying. You are on a path. There are signposts. If you are speeding down the path, you will miss the little miracles and treasures that have been placed there. Yeah, basically what I said. And then the next card, which I pulled, I did a 3-card spread. So then the next card that I pulled is like the final arc to the story. It can be a lesson that you're working on learning in the short term, or it might be a lesson that benefits you to learn for a long-term lesson, which the first card we pulled has to do with like a lesson that you haven't, the freedom card has to do with a lesson that you haven't quite learned yet. And if you don't lean into that energy and learn from it, then you're going to have a really hard time learning the next part of the pull, which is the long-term one. So the card was friendship and healing. And look, the healing card even has a bunch of friends together. So it's like, bam, synchronicity. Like I love, love, love when spirit like delivers cards like this. It's beautiful. So friendship says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. And then healing. So this can go multiple ways too. Being that I see this card alongside the healing card, I think that some of y'all, as you're in this waiting and patient stage, and I'm getting really strong like heart energy, I think that some of y'all might be going through the deaths and dying of many friendships, not necessarily physically, although maybe some are physical. And like as those friendships shed and fall off, it's like you're going through a death, and it's a really painful, uncomfortable process as you lose these people that are really close to you. And that's why there's this healing card here, like to show you that there's deep, profound catharsis and healing going on underneath all this pain. And yes, that the friend is in your life for a reason, but they also leave your life and make space in your life for a reason too. Which doesn't necessarily take the sting out, but that is kind of what goes on as you clear out the old friendships and soul contracts and stuff that aren't serving you anymore. And then you'll go within and you'll be in that place waiting and working on yourself, being patient with yourself, lots of contemplation, I'm sure, as like friends are leaving your life. And you'll go within and you'll work through it, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and healing is a process. And maybe some of you are even experiencing like a little bit of a healing crisis right now, which if you don't know what that is, you can Google it. Just type in Google spiritual healing crisis or something like that. But this also makes me think of like if you are working on manifesting anything and removing yourself from victim consciousness and all this stuff, like yeah, you're gonna have to move out the old friendships and even family members and relationships to make way for the new ones that are going to match what it is that you're working on in ways that you probably haven't even imagined yet. And then when the time comes, you're going to have great soul tribe and people that come forth, and just by hanging out with them and being with them, there's healing in that. And then you'll start to feel and realize like you have created this freedom and your patience has paid off. So hopefully that is helpful for you. I'm still in the phase of waiting for friends that are like-minded like me to arrive. I have friends that are in other countries and states, but I feel like I went through about a 2-year stint of like friendships kind of dying off, and I feel like there's little blossoms and stuff growing beneath like the ashes of all that like got burned off. And for myself, I see like that healing circle of people arriving in my life probably this year, because it's the year of relationships and numerology. So I would think something would align in that way. So the friendship card says, and also if you're working on manifesting things, it's good to have like-minded friends. So if you don't have any friendships dying off, but have like really good friends and support system, make sure to like be with them and spend time with them to help lift you and support you as you work on creating this freedom and work through this patience energy. You don't necessarily have to share your manifestation goals with everybody, but it really helps sometimes to have another friend cheering you on. Like, I remember a few months ago, my friend Janelle and I, we both took turns for like, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks, meditating for each other every single day. And she told me what it was that she wanted to work on, which was her theater goals and acting goals and her home goals and stuff like that. And then I told her what I wanted to work on with my business and then with my marriage and all that. And so every day we would meditate for one another and for ourselves. And yeah, interesting things did start to happen. So yeah, lean into that friend you have that might be your number one cheerleader, because you might also be their number one cheerleader. And camaraderie is very important in the human experience. The card says, all humans are created from the same source, but there are some souls that share a unique kinship. Friendship can be the most exciting and beautiful experience on earth, but it can also be frustrating and heartbreaking. Understand that everyone in your path is here to teach you something. It may be for a year or a lifetime. Together you will teach each other various lessons of the heart, such as trust, love, loyalty, and admiration. The bonds of friendship are often stronger than those of family. You have formed a bridge of understanding between the two of you that has stood the test of time and of lifetimes. Janelle and I are definitely friendships that have been in multiple lives together, which it's great because you can see it in this life. A true friend will illuminate your path instead of dim it. He or she will give advice with your best interest at heart. To be able to communicate at a soul level with another human being is the biggest treasure of the physical dimension. So yeah, hopefully this card reading gave you some clarity and things to think about. Maybe it muddied the waters a little bit, but sometimes it takes the muddying of the waters to get that clarity. And then I also think what I'm going to do with this video today is I would like to go ahead and channel some Reiki, working with the messages of these cards for you, the viewer. So if you want, you can just sit back and relax, or you can wander around and just set the intention to receive the Reiki, and we'll go ahead and send it. And you'll see me draw like little symbols and stuff that have to do with the Reiki symbols. And then I might speak light language, I might not. We'll see what comes through. If I do, I'll clarify what the light language is for once it does come through. And then we'll just get some Palo Santo going too. So clear and ground the energy and uplift. Alright. Speak it. clearing some, like, I would say energetic dust bunnies from around the heart and around the head. Ilata I isikayata o mi taya amahaya ai isikayata asi ina haya oi mantaya amasata ilaya sikaya a ush itaya amata ikaya a isitaya nata o mitira itaya hayata taya mata isikaya tataya mahahaya maho ima ayato I ai imaka ala isitaya amako I ai latas yatata. That was light language to let go and bring in clarity and peace and calm to support you as you're waiting and to make the shedding of friendships a little bit less painful. There's a lot of throat chakra energy going on. So find ways to express what it is you're building up in here. Express healthily. Don't bottle things up. Itaya hai maka ilaya amasataya a I ataya hai omoko olaya sataya a ikayata omataya sita ika oyama laisi kayata iaka o mitaya a ialaya sataya a. That was light language to help dissolve self-limiting beliefs, to support you in that freedom energy and contemplation energy. You don't have to feel disempowered. You can come from a place of power, and it all begins within you. And that's it for now. Hopefully this helps you, and you can play this video as many times as you need. Maybe someone can comment and put the timestamp for when the Reiki started if you don't want to watch the cards over and over. Anywho, that's all I got for now, and I will see you next time.